Everyone will be able to see all of me, hopefully, as we are practicing on the mats. All right. So friends, it is 5:30. We are going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jane Stimpson. I'm a librarian at the Lone Star College CyFair Library. I'm also a yoga teacher there, and normally we hold classes twice a week in our library. Unfortunately, since our library has closed due to the pandemic, we are not able to hold those. And unfortunately, I don't have a good estimate for you on when our library will be reopening. So that's the bad news. But the good news is that we will be streaming yoga live from my living room every other week from now on while the library is closed. We'll stick to this Thursday, 5:30 p.m. schedule every other week. And as always, if you miss it, you can catch it on the YouTube channel later. So for news about all upcoming yoga classes, I just realized this might be backwards in the webcam. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, LSC-CyFair Library. Follow us on Instagram, LSC-CyFair Library, on Twitter, LSC-CyFair Library, and on our Facebook page for all the news about the latest library closures and yoga classes. So before we get started tonight, I just wanted to give a quick word. Last week, I said thank you to all of our essential workers keeping us safe and stocked through this. Thank you again through them. We so appreciate you. If you are feeling like you would like to thank them as well or do something to show, to take action during this crisis, I would urge you to maybe consider a donation to the Houston Food Bank. Last week, there was a news story about Houston Food Bank food distribution at the Berry Center, which is an events complex right next to our campus. And there were lines of cars throughout the parking lot and around the block and surrounding streets. And that hit a lot of us really hard, right? That's our community. So a lot of library staff donated to the Houston Food Bank after that. And if you have the time or the funds to do so, I would encourage you to donate your time and dollars to the Houston Food Bank. Thanks. All right, so let's go ahead and start class. Make sure that you're practicing with a mat or a towel if you don't have one. Make sure that you're practicing barefoot so you can stick to the mat. And tonight's class, as all my classes are, our motto for class is choose your own adventure, right? So if you are an experienced yogi, feel free to take a stronger variation. If this is your first yoga class, this is the first time you've ever tried it, feel free if you need to just sit back and watch or take a rest pose, right? It's always okay. Do what you need to do to make yoga feel good in your own body this evening. So tonight will be a lot like the last time. We're actually going to start with some breath work, and we're going to play with the breath and see how changing the length of our inhales or exhales can be energizing or relaxing. So we're going to play with an energizing breath at the top of class, and we're going to play with a relaxing breath towards the end of class. Like last time, we will have the chance to sit in meditation at the end, and then you're always welcome to stay in meditation or lie back and take a traditional rest pose, and I'll cue those both ways. So we're going to start off with some breath work. So if you have done breath work before, I'd like you to go ahead and stay seated for this. And if you want, you can always fold your mat up and give yourself a little bit of a cushion. Or even if you have a zaku, you can practice that way, sitting on a cushion. If, however, you are new to yoga and you're new to breath work, I would actually like you to start this breath work lying down, right? So that's actually anybody's choice. You can stay seated or lying down. But make your choice. I'm going to stay seated for this one. And when you've chosen what you'd like to do, either you're sit or lying all the way down, go ahead and bring your right hand on top of your navel and bring your left hand on top of your right hand. You can actually close your eyes and start to take some deep, steady breaths. And as you do so, feel your belly pushing against your hands as you inhale And as you exhale, feel your hands falling. Inhale, filling up the belly with air, filling the lungs, filling the chest. Exhale, empty the belly of air, pull the navel to the spine, empty the ribs, empty the chest. Continue on with this deep belly breathing. Feeling the belly rising on the inhale as you fill up. Feeling the belly falling on the exhale as you empty. Continue on with that breath. If it helps you to keep your hands on the belly, you can continue to do so. Or if you're seated, you can rest them on palms down on top of your knees. Or if you're lying down, you can rest them at your side. Now we're going to bring a count to this in a moment. And we'll start with equal ins and equal outs. And then we'll lengthen our inhale till we're taking longer inhales than we are exhales. So go ahead and exhale everything. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold and pause at the top while you're full. And then exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause at the bottom. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. And start to lengthen the inhale to a 7 count now. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pause. Hold. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Empty. Okay, so just lengthening the inhale. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pause. Exhale slow. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Last round. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Good. Release the count of the breath and just come back to a normal rhythm of breathing for you. Not trying to control the breath at all. But noticing if you feel maybe a little bit more energy or a little bit more life coming into the body, taking those longer inhales than exhales. If you are lying down for this, go ahead and bend both knees so that your feet come to the earth. Roll over onto one side. And then use your hands to push yourself up to a seated position. Everybody is seated for now. Go ahead and close the eyes. Bring the palms together in front of your heart. And then bow the head. Lower the hands. And gently blink the eyes open. And come back center. All right. So we're going to start our physical practice tonight on hands and knees. So go ahead and transition onto your hands and knees into a tabletop. And when you get there, just sort of move intuitively to start, right? So just stir your own pot. So just move in a way that feels good in your body this evening, maybe circling the hips in one direction. And anything you circle in one direction, make sure to circle in the other direction. Maybe you're moving your shoulders and your hips in opposite direction. Just taking a second to do what you need to do right now to work out any of those snap, crackle, pops that you might have from being seated or from working all day. Yeah. Nice. Whoa. And then eventually making your way back to a tabletop position. So take a second to make sure you're all squared up here. Wrists directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Fingers are spread wide, rooting down from thumb and index finger. Neutral spot. Good. And we're going to come into some cat-cow. So on your next inhale, drop the belly with the tailbone, lift the chin, look up. And on your exhale, round the back, tuck the chin to the chest. Exhale. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, lift the gaze, collarbone wide. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin. Several more rounds of this. Inhale to cow. And if you want to bring some movement to this, that sometimes feels nice. So as you exhale, maybe pulling your hips towards the heels a little bit. And then as you inhale, maybe moving the hips forward a little bit. So again, like stirring your own pot, find the level of movement that works best for you in this cat-cow this evening. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cow. Inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. Just a couple more rounds with your own breath and your own time. You're moving back and forth, maybe bring it back to a stillness. And after your last cat, come all the way back to a neutral spine. Now take a second, just reset your tabletop here, make sure everything is squared up. We're going to come into a little bit of a twist and a shoulder stretch. So on your next inhale, lift the right hand and right arm off the mat, bring it out to the right, look up, open the chest, and then exhale, set that right hand down again. Other side. Inhale, lift the left arm, open the chest to the left, exhale, return. Inhale, open to the right, exhale, set it down. Inhale, left. And we're still pretty stiff, right? We're not super warmed up. So if this is feeling tough, that's no surprise, right? It should be. Inhale, this is the last time on the right side. And exhale, instead of putting the right hand back down, flip the palm and send that hand between the gap between left thigh and left wrist. And bring the right shoulder, maybe the right side of the cheek, all the way down to the mat. And we're getting a shoulder stretch here. Now, if you want, you can walk this left hand out, maybe bend the elbow, spider the fingers. But if you're feeling pretty good and balanced here and you want a little bit more stretch, you could lift that left hand, wrap the left arm around the low back, and hook the fingers onto the top of the right thigh. Just figure out how much stretch feels good for you this evening. Few breaths here. If your hand was wrapped around your low back, bring it back to the mat. Everybody plant the left palm and push into the earth to bring yourself back up to your tabletop. And we'll take that other side. So when you're ready, inhale, open left arm. And exhale, thread the left hand through the gap. Palm faces up, bringing the left shoulder and left side of the face down to the mat. You can walk the right fingertips out to help balance, or wrap that arm around the low back. Your choice. With your arms wrapped around your low back, bring that right palm back to the mat. Press into the right palm to bring yourself back up to tabletop. Then go ahead and just sit back on your heels. And if it doesn't feel good for you to kneel like this, you can come and sit for this next part. It's totally up to you. Just go ahead and circle the wrists in one direction. We just spent a little bit of time bearing weight on our wrists, so I always like to kind of stretch them out after that. And then circle the wrists in the other direction. All right. Clasp the fingers and lift the hands so that the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. We're going to come into sort of like a cat-cow, but seated or kneeling, depending on what you're doing. So inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms a little higher. And then exhale, round the back as you lower the arms parallel to the mat. Tuck the chin to the chest. Next, few more of those. Inhale, lift the arms, maybe lift the gaze. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round the back. And last time, inhale, lift. And exhale, release the hands with control. Don't just let them flop back down to the mat. Nice. So fingertips at your side. Walk the right fingertips out to the right a little bit. And drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Just getting a nice neck stretch here. Inhale, bring the head and fingertips back center. And exhale, walk the left fingertips out to the left. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale, walk the fingers and head back center. And then drop the head so that the chin comes to your chest. And gently move the chin back and forth in pendulum motion. And go ahead and turn that into neck rolls, right? So roll the neck all the way in one direction. Getting out those last little snaps. And then reverse the direction of your neck roll, roll the other way. And come back neutral. All right. So for this next one, we're all going to come down onto our belly. We're going to take one last kind of nice shoulder stretch before we start to get to standing and moving. So come all the way down to your belly. Flip the toes so that the tops of the feet are on the earth. And actually bring your chest down too. Hopefully the camera will still pick me up. Bring your arms out to a T. And go ahead and bend the left elbow so that fingertips come to the earth. Yeah. And then very gently, you're going to roll over onto your right side. The right cheek is going to stay down on the mat. And now, if you've rolled onto your right side and you're like, no way, that's too much, come on back and just push just a little bit with your arm, right? You don't have to roll all the way over onto your side if that's not working for you. If that does feel pretty good, and you feel like you could use a little bit more stretch, you could lift that top leg and bend it and bring the toes behind the bottom leg. So we should be feeling this stretch on the outside and the front of the right shoulder. This is open wing stretch. Very gently, if your top leg was up, stack it on top of the bottom leg and roll on back to your belly. And we'll take that other side. So left arm out to a T. Bend the right elbow, walk the fingertips in, bring the left cheek down, and roll onto your left side. taking a little bit less or maybe a little bit more of a stretch, depending on how you're feeling tonight. You might even notice that there's a difference between your two sides. My left side is a little bit tighter tonight, so I'm not going to take that deeper variation. Few breaths here. Feel that stretch from the front of our left shoulder, left chest. And then very gently roll yourself back onto your stomach. Plant the hands underneath your shoulders and sit all the way back on your heels in child's pose. So big toes touching, arms straight out in front of you, fingertips spread wide, forehead resting down on the mat, or if it doesn't want to come down to the mat, just striving for the mat. And then take a second, look forward at your hands. We're going to transition from here to down dog and then up to standing. So make sure hands are about shoulder width apart, fingertips spread wide. Root the palms down and forward, making sure that the tops and the base of the fingertips are pressing down so you're suctioning into the mat. And then when you have that, lift the hips, tuck the toes, and then lift the hips and the knees up and back, downward facing dog. So hands pressing down and forward, shoulders away from the ears, heels driving towards the floor. Take a second, maybe bend one knee at a time while you're here, starting to warm into the hamstring. Really pressing down to the thumb and forefinger to help you stay steady here. All right, both heels down. And then inhale, come all the way high up to the balls of your feet, up into your tippy toes. And then exhale, press your hips towards the back of the mat and lower the heels towards the mat, knowing that heels might not touch the ground, and that is fine. One more in-breath here, deep in-breath. And then exhale, bending the knees, slowly walking the feet to your hands. When you get there, leave feet hips width apart. And gently, maybe clasp opposite elbow or just dangle the arms. And let the whole back and head and neck relax. Maybe sway from side to side. Knees are nice and bent and soft. Release your elbows if you had them clasped. And gently start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, taking your time. Head stays bowed. Head is the last thing to come up. When you get there, roll the shoulders back. Nice. All right. A couple more little stretches before we get into our standing flow. Let's take a standing side stretch. So take a second and just set your feet up. Feet can be hips width apart. They can be right together, whatever feels best for you right now. I tend to like my feet hips width apart in this stretch. Arms by your sides. And then inhale, both arms up. Grab the right wrist with the left hand. And then exhale, hips go to the right, torso goes to the left. So we're stretching the whole right side of the body. And maybe you're only taking a little bitty side stretch tonight. Maybe you're like sinking way down into it, right? Whatever feels best for you this evening. Inhale, come back to center. Switch your clasp. Grab the left wrist with the right hand. And exhale, torso to the right, hips to the left. Helps to press down through the left pinky toe edge of your foot to stay balanced here. And then inhale, come on up. And again, release the arms with control so they're not flopping down. Nice. All right. Take a second, still keeping your feet about hips width apart. Roll the shoulders back and clasp your hands behind you. Inhale where you are. And exhale, gently bend the knees and fold forward so that your clasped hands are reaching up to the sky. And one more in-breath. And then exhale with control, release the clasp. Bring the hands down wherever they want to rest this evening. Maybe it's the floor, maybe it's shins, maybe it's thighs. Wherever you are, bring the hands to the shins. Inhale, lift the back flat halfway. Exhale, open the mouth and sigh it out as you fold. I'm going to take a couple more of those. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift back halfway. Exhale, open the mouth, sigh and fold. Next, one more. That should feel good. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, open and sigh. And then once more with the knees bent, slowly roll yourself up, one vertebrae at a time, to your standing position. Head comes back last. Roll the shoulders back when you get there. Next. Okay. So we're going to get into our standing flow this evening. And like always, I like to start off my standing flows with a few mat salutations just to start to link breath with movement. So let's set up in our mountain pose at the top of the mat. Feet are together or just slightly apart. All of our leg muscles are engaged and lifted. Tailbone slightly tucked. Hands rest by our sides. Shoulders away from the ears. Gaze straight ahead. Mountain pose. Exhale everything. And then inhale, arms will rise. Exhale, a little bend in the knees as you fold forward. Right, we've been here before. Inhale, flatten the back, lift the hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, press the feet into the earth. We're rising all the way to a stand. Exhale, hands return to your sides. And we'll take another couple before we add on. And remember that arms can always go straight out and up. That is your choice. Reset your mountain pose. Exhale everything. And then inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway, collarbone wide. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise to a stand. Look, lift to your hands. Exhale, return the hands. Last one, we'll start to add on to it. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold forward. Bending the knees as much as we need. Inhale, flat back, hands to the shins. Exhale, refold. And this time, take a big step back with your left foot. Right foot stays where it is. And then pivot that left heel down to the mat and cartwheel the arms up. So we're going to set up for warrior two. Have your hands on your hips for right now. We're going to set our foot foundation first. So take a look. Back foot is pointing towards the side of the mat, or maybe it's in at a little 45-degree angle. Front toes are facing forward. Front heel aligns with the middle of the back arch. Bring your hand to the inside of your right knee and just take a second and make sure that this front shin is vertical, right? We don't want the knee coming past the toes. So if you need to adjust your back foot forward so that the knee is directly over the ankle and shin is vertical, go for it. Drop that inner thigh. Hands are still on the hips and we've set our strong foundation. So take a second. Now that we have that foundation, lift the hips out of the waist out of the hips. Lift the rib cage out of the waist. All torso. And the last piece of this is the arms. So arms parallel to the mat, gazing out over those right middle fingertips. Warrior two. Taking a breath or two here. Good, nice deep in-breath here. And on your exhale, cartwheel the hands down to either side of the front foot, come off the back heel. You can either step this front foot straight back, or if you need a little bit more support, bring the back knee down, and then bring this front knee back to meet it. Everybody bring both knees down, and then lower the hips, the belly, the chest, all the way down to the mat. Flip your toes so that the tops of the feet are on the mat. And then inhale, bring the forearms in front of you, up on your elbows. Fingertips spread wide. And we're in Sphinx pose here. So on your inhale, let the chest really shine through and be broad. Engage your thighs so that the tops of the knees are off the mat. Pressing down through the forearms and the tops of the feet. Gazing straight ahead, Sphinx pose. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Now we're heading back to downward facing dog. So if you want to just tuck the toes and head right back to downward facing dog, if that's in your practice, go for it. Otherwise, I want you to come back to that tabletop position and then tuck the toes and lift the knees and hips up and back to downward facing dog. Right, so choose your own adventure. Deep in-breath, shoulders away from the ears. Slow exhale. Now we're going to be bringing the left foot in between the hands, and you have a couple ways to get there. On your next exhale, you can either step that left foot straight through, or if you took the knees down variation before, I want you to bring both knees down to the mat and then bring the left foot through. Okay, your choice. Everybody is with left foot in between the hands. Come off that back knee, pivot the back heel down, and cartwheel the arms up again. We're coming into the warrior two on the other side. Okay, so take a second, set your foundation. You can bring hands to the hips for right now. Make sure that back foot is pointing straight out. Make sure this front shin is vertical. Drop that front thigh. And a really lovely visualization that I like here, a yoga teacher I follow named Jason Crandall has this great visualization. He says, picture that you have a scale under each foot here. And you want each scale to weigh the same amount. So if you feel like you have more of your weight in your front foot, see if you can shift some of that weight to your back foot, pressing down through the pinky toe edge of that back foot, feeling like you have a scale under each foot. Now that we have our foundation set, go ahead and pull the torso tall. And then last piece of this is the arms straight out, gazing over that middle fingertip. Warrior two. Inhaling here. And exhaling, cartwheeling both hands down to either side of that front foot, coming off the back heel. Either stepping the left foot straight back or bringing the right knee down and the left knee back to meet it. Wherever you are, go ahead and lower all the way down to your belly. We're going to play with some cobra variation. So bring your fingertips a little bit forward of your mat and a little bit wider of your mat. Okay. Spiny the fingertips. And then take a second, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Make sure those thighs are engaged. The back of the neck is long. And on your next inhale, lift the chin and the chest just a little tiny bit off the mat, baby cobra. And exhale, bring it back down. Walk the fingertips in a little closer to your mat, a little bit further back, maybe lined up at the top of the mat. And on your next inhale, peel the head, neck, and Head and shoulders off, maybe a little bit bigger cobra this time. Exhale down. Last variation. Bring the hands all the way underneath your shoulders, palms really root into the mat, and really pull these elbows in, like hug your elbows into your sides. It's going to be our biggest one yet. So on your next inhale, press down through the tops of the feet and the hands. Inhale, lift the chest off the mat, maybe some of the belly. Cobra pose. Exhale all the way back down. And we're going to come up to standing again through down dog. So take your variation. Either tuck your toes and push straight up and back to downward facing dog. Or from cobra, come onto your knees into your tabletop and then lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. If you need to readjust your feet in downward facing dog, that's fine. I do that a lot. A lot of my yoga teachers do. Deep in breath. And exhale. Slowly walk the feet towards your hands. When your feet reach the top of the mat, feet are next to each other. Inhale, bring the hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. And then inhale, rise all the way to a stand. Exhale, bring the palms together in front of your heart. Really spread the fingertips wide and connect the thumb to your breastbone. And then bow the head, looking down at your fingertips. Maybe getting your breath back for a couple of beats. Release your hands and come back to your mountain pose. So we're going to take that again, but we're going to add on a couple more poses to it. So take your mountain pose, reset. Make sure thighs are engaged, tailbone tucked. Gaze is straight ahead, shoulder, but maybe even take a second, roll the shoulders back, right? Feel your shoulder blades traveling down the back. Exhale everything. And then inhale, arms will rise. Exhale, bend the knees, fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Take a big step back with the left foot, right foot stays where it is. Pivot that back heel down and come on up into your warrior two. Okay, feeling those scales weighing the same under each foot, so bringing some more weight into the back foot if we need to. Inhale deeply. Exhale. On your next inhale, straighten that front leg. Step the back foot in just a little bit, maybe just one step. We're going to come into triangle pose. So reach your hands towards the front of your mat. Keep your hips towards the back of your mat. When you can't reach any further, bring that right hand down wherever it wants to rest this evening. Maybe it's at the shin, the ankle, floor. If you have a block, you can place it on a block. Left arm is straight up to the ceiling. Whatever you have your right hand down on, press down so that you feel your left side chest opening a little bit more. Few breaths here in triangle. Making sure we're not locking this front knee, right? Little teeny bend in that front knee. Oh my God. All right, we're going to come back to standing, and it's going to take a bunch of core strength. So inhale and use your core, come all the way back up. And then rebend into that front knee like we're coming into warrior two. But actually, we're going to bring our right forearm onto the top of our right thigh. We're coming into side angle. So if you practice side angle with your hand all the way down to the mat, either on inside or outside, maybe on a block, practice it this way. I'm going to practice this tonight with my right forearm on my right thigh. Once I have that, lift the left arm straight up to the sky for side angle. If you want an extended side angle, palm faces down, bicep over your ear. Feeling a long line of energy all the way from your left fingertips down to the pinky toe edge of your left foot. Breathing. Inhale. And exhale, hands down to either side of the front foot, come off that back heel. Once more, we're going to make our way all the way down to our belly. So either step straight back or bring the back knee and then the front knee back to meet it. And lower all the way down to the belly. Your choice is to come into Sphinx or Cobra. So inhale, either Sphinx or Cobra. I'm taking Sphinx this evening. Inhaling. And then exhaling, bringing the hands back underneath your shoulders, and making your way back to down dog, whether it's straight back or coming into tabletop, and then tucking the toes and lifting the knees and the hips. Your choice. Couple of breaths here before we finish it out with the other side. Inhale. And then on your exhale, bring the left foot in between your hands, whether bringing knees down first or no. Come off the back knee if you were on it. Everybody's going to bring the back heel down and cartwheel up into our warrior two on the left side. Front shin vertical, torso tall. And on your next in-breath, inhale, straighten into that front leg. Maybe bring that back foot in just a scope. And then exhale, reach for the front of the mat. Back hips kick back. When you can reach no further, bring that left hand down wherever it wants to rest this evening. And that right arm straight up tall to the ceiling. Right side of the chest open. Now, my gaze is up towards my right fingertips here. But if that doesn't feel great on your neck, you can just be gazing straight out, right? You don't need to gaze up. Few breaths here and trying. And then on your next in breath, get ready. Inhale, we're coming all the way back up. Use your core. Bend into that front knee one more time. We're coming into side angle. So bring the left forearm down onto that left thigh, or bring the arm down, the hand all the way down to the mat, your choice. Once you've made your choice, right arm will reach straight up to the ceiling for side angle, or palm down, stretch it over the ear for extended side angle. Few breaths here. Good. Deep inhale. And on your exhale, hands down to either side of the front foot. Come off that back heel. Bring the front foot back to meet the back one. Knees down, thighs, hips, belly, chest down. We're going to take that Sphinx or Cobra one more time, your choice. Inhale, Sphinx or Cobra, wherever you've decided to be. Tops of the feet press into the mat. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. And press the hips all the way back to your heels for child's pose. Regaining your breath. Knowing that it's all stretches from here on out. Okay. So while you're in child's pose, just listen for a second as I explain what we're going to be doing next. We're going to be coming into pigeon pose. Request for class tonight. I'm always happy to take those. And we have a couple ways that we can do pigeon pose. So you can come into a traditional pigeon. I'll do that in a minute. But if you have pretty tight hips or if you're pretty new to yoga, I would like you to take the following variation of pigeon. So from your child's pose, just sit on up and come on down to your back. If you're going to take the traditional variation of pigeon, just stay in child's pose. Chill for just a minute longer and I'll keep you in a second. If you're taking the reclined version of pigeon, come all the way down to your back. Knees are bent. And cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Make sure this right foot is flat so the toes are pointing back towards the knees. That's going to protect our knee joint. Go ahead and lift the hips. And then thread your hands through the hole so that you're clasping your hands behind the left thigh. Stay where you are. And then on your next exhale, gently pull the whole contraction in towards your chest, right? You should be feeling a stretch on the outside of the right glute. So hold that pigeon for a second. For folks taking a traditional pigeon, from child's pose, lift up to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg, and then bend that right knee and stack the hips so that you're opening the hips towards the right just for a breath. Three-legged dog. And then exhale, square the hips again, and then bring that right knee behind the right wrist and come onto your back knee. Use your back toes to kind of walk that back knee out a little bit. Take a second, make sure you're balanced and you're not sitting all the way down into the right glute. You're kind of balanced between them. Inhale, get tall. You can stay here, or you can fold forward, maybe resting onto your forearms, or bringing your chest all the way down. Resting here for a few breaths. If you're in that reclined pigeon, you're good to stay there for a little bit more. If you find it's getting a little too intense, right, you can always sort of bring the hips a little bit away from you, right? So you're not pulling in quite as tightly. Last few breaths. Now, if you're on your back in reclined pigeon, go ahead and uncross the right leg and for a moment hug both knees into your chest. If you are in your traditional pigeon, go ahead and start to walk the hands back in, walk yourself back upright, and start to tuck the back toes, bring your knee back in, and go ahead and push all the way back to down dog. Maybe you're going to be fancy and lift that right leg. All right. If you are on your back for pigeon, go ahead and cross the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Flex the left foot. I hope I got that direction right. Yeah, clasp your hands behind the right thigh and gently pull in. If you want to do traditional pigeon, inhale, lift the left foot off the mat, bend the knee, open the hips out for three-legged dog. And then square the hips, bend the knee and bring it all the way behind the left wrist. Bring the back knee down and walk that back knee out. Inhale, get tall. Exhale. Fold over. Maybe coming down to your forearms. Maybe making a little pillow for your hands, for your head. If you practice with a block, this might be a really nice time. If your head doesn't quite come all the way down, this might be a really nice time to grab a block and rest your forehead down on that. And again, maybe just taking a second to notice if one side is a little different or tighter than the other. Few more breaths here. Now, if you're on your back, go ahead and release your clasp. Hug both knees into your chest. Take a little rock from side to side. And rock yourself all the way over onto one side. Push yourself back up to a seated position, taking your time. You still got a couple minutes, or a couple beats, those of us in traditional pigeon. If you're in traditional pigeon, go ahead and bring yourself all the way back up. Plant your hands, tuck your back toes, and last time, push yourself back to downward facing dog, maybe even a little three-legged dog. One last breath in down dog. And then exhale, bring the knees down and swing the feet out in front of you. So everybody now should come into a seated position. And now that we're back in our seated position and ready to wind down, we're going to check back in with that breath again, right? So at the beginning of class, we took longer inhales to sort of energize ourselves and get ready for practice. Now that we're winding down, we're going to take some longer exhales to sort of relax and get into that. So go ahead and bring hands face down on the knees, or if you want, you can bring them to the belly if you felt that helped you check in with your deep belly breath. Exhale everything. We're going to inhale for 5. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, hold. Exhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Right, so you really got to control that exhale, slow and steady. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pause. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're full. Pause. Hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last time. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release. Come back to a normal rhythm of breath, not trying to control it at all. Just check in with your body and your state. Knowing that you can always come back to those breaths throughout your day whenever you need to. Right? A little longer inhale to energize, a little longer exhale to relax. All right. Last couple stretches before we head into our meditation for this evening. Go ahead and bring your legs wide to a straddle. And legs can be wide or kind of as narrow as we need to, right? It all depends on you and your hips. Kind of take a medium stance. Bring your fingertips to the center, sit real tall. And then with flat back, start to walk the fingertips forward. When you can no longer keep a flat back and keep walking, that's where you're going to pause in this stretch. So for me, I am not super flexible in this stretch. I'm staying right up here. Some people have their whole chest down to the mat. Wherever you are tonight is great. Take a few breaths here. Maybe finding as you're stretching a little bit longer, you might even be able to walk the fingertips out just a millimeter with each exhale. Last deep inhale here. And then exhale. Gently walk the fingertips back in. Bend your left knee so that the left sole comes to the inside of your right foot. Right palm faces up on top of your right leg. Inhale the left arm up and side stretch to the right. If you have the flexibility, You can grab the inside of the right foot with the right hand. Maybe you can even grab onto the outside of the right foot with the left hand. Breathe in here. And on your next inhale, inhale the left arm up and back behind you. Right arm follows. Lift the hips. Come onto that left shin. And exhale back down. Love that counter stretch. All right, switch sides. Left leg out long. Right foot into the left thigh. Left palm faces up. Inhale the right arm up. And exhale over. Trying to grab onto that left foot if you could. And if you can't, just reaching for it, like one day, eventually you can. And then eventually one day you can. Exhaling. And then inhale, right arm comes back up. Right hand comes behind you. Left arm reaches up, hips. Reach up to the ceiling. And exhale, bring everything back down. Nice. All right. One last stretch before we get into our seat tonight. Bring the legs long in front of you. Your feet are flexed, maybe taking a second. Moving your extra flesh away from the sits bone so that sits bone sits square on the earth. Take a second and sit really, really tall. And then inhale, both arms up, feet are flexed. Exhale, fold forward, bringing hands wherever they want to rest this evening. Maybe it's thighs, calves. Maybe you can hang on to the feet. Deep inhales. Slow exhales. Couple more breaths here. With each inhale, feeling like your spine is getting longer. With each exhale, feeling like you could pull your chest to your feet just a little. Deep inhale. And then exhale, gently release. Slowly come back. All right. So to end class this evening, we're going to come into a quick meditation, and you'll have your choice to either stay in your sit, or I'll cue you to lie back in a traditional rest pose, right? So it's your choice. But to come into your meditation, if you want a little bit of a cushion to sit up on, you can roll up the back of your mat a few times and sit on that roll. Or you can grab a block or a cushion, whatever you need to maybe just sit up a little bit taller. Come into an easy sit for you, a comfortable sit for you this evening. And when you get there, you can rest hands face down on your thighs, or you can in the right hand in the lap. Take a second to sit tall, pulling the waist out of the hips, pulling the rib cage out of the waist. Gaze is straight ahead. Eyes are soft. Shoulders are loose. And the belly is full and easy. And in our meditation this evening, the object of awareness will be our breath. Just take a second to notice your breath. Not trying to control it in any way. letting the body breathe itself. And just be aware of the qualities of your breath. Maybe feel its coolness as it comes in through your nostrils. Maybe feeling its warmth as it leaves your nostrils. You can also think rising on the inhale, picturing your belly rising as you in-breath. And think falling on the exhale. Just following the breath with your attention. It's the only thing that you have to focus on right now. So when you find your mind wandering, because of sounds around you, or sensations in your body, or the whirlwind of thoughts, thinking about what might be next, what came before, refocus the attention on the breath. Feel as it rises in. Feel as it falls out. Knowing that for many of us, this practice is much more difficult than the physical practice. Awesome. Without blame, if you find your mind wandering, just bring it back to the breath. Mind can wander 1,000 times. Bring it back to the breath 1,001 times. And with our last few minutes together this evening, your choice is to stay in your meditation, in your sit, or if you'd like a more traditional end to your practice, with as little movement as smoothly as possible. Move any cushion or block or mat roll you have out from under your sit. Then gently lower yourself all the way down to the mat. And when you get there, get really comfy. Snuggle the shoulder blades up underneath you. Move the head from side to side till it finds that perfect position it wants to rest in. Hands can rest palms up at your side or on the belly, your choice. And with each breath, relax and sink further into the mat. On your next exhale, relax the forehead, relax the jaw, relax the tongue. On your next exhale, relax the shoulder and the chest. On your next exhale, relax the back and the belly and the pelvis. On your next exhale, relax the arms and the fingers. And then on this exhale, relax your legs and your toes. Wherever you've chosen to be this evening, either staying in your meditation, following the breath with your attention, or lying back into your rest pose. Find rest wherever you are. I'll go quiet for a moment or two, and then I'll let you know when it's time to come out and move on. Knowing that for just a moment or two more, there's nowhere you need to be, except right here. There's nothing you need to do, except this. If you lay back in a rest pose, start to bring movement back into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, circling the wrists and the ankles. Bend the knees so that your feet come to the earth and roll over onto one side. And taking your time with eyes still closed, use your hands to push yourself up to a seated position. We're all meeting back in a sit with our eyes closed. And then bring the palms touching in front of your heart. Thank you all so much for practicing with me this evening. Bow your head, drop your hands, and then gently blink your eyes open and come back sometime. Awesome. Thank you everyone so much for practicing with me again tonight. Remember that we're going to be doing this every other Thursday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Go ahead and